Hi, welcome to today's session on textured arrangements. I've got a few things on the desk for you to have a look at of the plant materials and tools and equipment that we'll be using today in the session. Okay, the plant materials. When you're choosing the plant materials this week, I really want you to take notice of the different textures of the plant material. So start thinking about like a rose that might have like a velvety texture, like Gypsophilia has got like a fluffy texture, because I want you to create a design that's using lots of different textures. So here on the desk I've got a selection of carnations, some spray carnations, some lily buds, some tulips, I've got some Galax leaves, I've got some Spanish moss, which is the curly one, Tillandsia. I've got some tungsten moss, which is the small one, sort of tree moss. That's a really nice texture, and it's got the two-tone, sort of the grey and the darker brown colour. I've also got some Germanis, some nice cool water roses. I've got some pins, some silver bark sheets, and I've got a small posy pad. You can actually use any container for this design. You don't necessarily have to look at just the posy pad, but maybe a suggestion to have a look at some of the images of the items below, and you can see a range of designs, maybe on a wreath ring or other mechanic. Okay, so I'm going to first start off by using some of the carnations. I'm going to place them very low down together. The idea of this textured arrangement is to create a design, but not necessarily overlapping any of the plant materials. And it's really important when you're placing the plant materials together is that you're using different plant materials next to each other. It's a textured design, so you really want to be looking at the different textures of your plant material that you're using. So I'll use a rose here, maybe a couple together, and then a Germany. And what you want to do is create a carpet-like design. So just by using a really small posy pad, I'm able to create quite quickly a design in close order using the plant material. So the tulips here are quite a spiky texture. I've got some nice buds of some lilies here. I'll cut them down and use them. And then I'm going to use some of the moss to give another texture into the design. I'll use some of the silver bark, because again that gives another texture, and just using the pins to pin it into place. So as you can see there, I've placed it into the oasis and then just using a pin to pin it into place. I'm using the spray carnations as a different colour. Looking at a monochromatic colour scheme in this design of the sort of pinky lilac shades. Making sure now I'm moving on to the arrangements that all my mechanics, which is my oasis in this design, are concealed. Again, just putting some nice, a little bit of the moss into the design and fasten them with a pin. I need to bring a little bit of the silver birch through to this side so it corresponds and gives the design harmony through the design. I'm just going to finish off finally with just a little bit more of the moss to give another texture, pinning them on. And that's the design then finished of a table arrangement for a massed textured design. Have a look around this section. I'm going to post some images of some different designs that the students have been constructing in class, using maybe other mediums such as wreaths, maybe posy pads of a larger scale, maybe adding candles in for a table arrangement. Have a look round. Any questions, don't forget to use the forum. I'm there and always available to answer your questions. Thanks, folks.